Hey, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me for the 9 Minute Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Scott Packer, and I'm welcoming you to the 9 Minute Podcast. We are on episode 16, I believe, episode 16. And so I thought today I would kind of go through, and maybe for the next few podcasts, we'll talk a little bit about the use of the Bible, or what I have become accustomed to calling it, is the Jewish writings. So let's start right there, because I have had people not really get upset, but not understand, and that's something that I think that we in the church really need to get a hold of, helping people understand things, because I think a lot of our church issues are because there's no explanation, and sometimes there's no transparency from ministry. Um, I I steer clear and try to tell people to steer clear from those churches that say, "Well, I'm the leadership, I'm the pastor. Don't question me. You just sit there in your chair or your pew or whatever seating that they have, and you just take what I'm saying to you, and that's that." I I'm telling you, you got to steer clear of that kind of stuff. But I don't want to get sidetracked, because I believe there needs to be transparency. We need to be talking to people. People who attend our church services should be able to ask questions. They should be able to talk to leadership. I don't believe in this untouchable minister, because he's so busy. He's so busy. I get that there's busy. I do get that. Believe me, I'm busy every moment. I have to schedule time for me, because if I don't, there will be something that will take that time. And I'm not going to do, what we not going to do is get burned out. We're not doing that. I've been through it. Early 90s, I was pastoring, and I went through a serious stage of burnout, and just, and we're not doing that. Not going to do it again. So I understand being busy, but let's think about this. The biggest thing about a pastor is to be a shepherd. And what do you know a shepherd for? Dealing with sheep. So if you're too busy to deal with your sheep, what are you doing? Call yourself something else. Um, and I'm not trying to be snide about it, but I mean, what is more important than your people? I'll wait. I mean, really, what is more important than your people? Um, you're about the people. You're for the people. You are the people. And the blessings shouldn't just all trickle upward to the top so that the shepherd's getting blessed. It should be, if the shepherd is getting blessed, it's coming down to the people. So I don't know. That was not planned, but you're welcome. But let's talk a little bit about this. So there are all kinds of translations, and I'm not getting into an argument or trying to start anything as far as what people believe, in the best translation in this translation. I'm just going to give you from my perspective, and we'll talk about it today and in the next few episodes as well. So, of course, the most familiar is the good old 1611 King James Version. The these and the thous and the thuses and the thises. So this one right here is actually, I don't know if you can see that, it's a Hebrew and Greek Key Study Bible, 1611 King James Version. Now, I use this for study because I think that it is very important when we are talking about scriptures that we understand the actuality of what the text means. what it meant at that time. Does it apply to this time? How does it apply to this time? So I have a Hebrew Greek study Bible. I did take Hebrew and Greek when I was in college, as you see all these degrees back here. And let me tell you, when that saying, it's all Greek to me, it was tough. Let me just tell you that. I survived by the skin of my teeth. So that's a good way, because I think you really do have to go back to the translation, because we have to remember the reason why I call the Bible the Jewish writings is because it is that. It is a Jewish book. It is not a westernized book. It's not the writings of Jesus and the history of Jesus in America. It's Jesus in his homeland. It's Jesus in the Middle East. And it is with that mindset and philosophy we have to understand. Somebody said, well, what are the Jewish writings written in? There's three main languages. There's Aramaic, which is the oldest of all languages, Aramaic. Then there's Hebrew, which is what most of the Old Testament is written in. And then Greek, which is what a lot of the New Testament is written in. So those three those three languages and those three writings are very important. So when we look at a scripture, we can't just read it and then take off with it. We need to understand the whole purpose behind it. Why was it written? What was the setting? How does it fit? What's the narrative? Because it's not just an Americanized idea, because of the fact that it is a Jewish writing. So we have to understand that. So there's the 1611 King James Version. Now, I get this question a lot. People will say, well, Dr. Packer, what is the most accurate translation for the scriptures? From the original, what's the most accurate? Well, surprise, surprise, it is not the 1611 King James Version. Now, some people love that translation, and that's fine. You know, they like the these and the thous and the thuses, and that's okay. But we have to, as long as you understand that Jesus didn't speak that way. Jesus didn't come to the disciples and say they, thou, and thises. He didn't speak in 1600s Elizabethan English, because he wasn't Elizabethan nor English. The most accurate translation, and I'll give you this, and we'll pick this up in the next podcast, but the most accurate translation is this one that I have, that has definitely seen some time. I got it held together with good old duct tape. That's the New American Standard Bible. The New American Standard Bible was taking the actual texts and then translating it word for word, and then taking it and putting it in a sentence structure where people would be able to understand it. And I've had this one, obviously, as you can see, for a long time. I use it so much, the New American Standard Bible. But there's so many more translations, and we'll talk about it in the episodes coming up. Thanks for joining me.